image likeness.
Yes,
I can
sir.
only imagine what that would have meant for Desmond Howard, because
Yeah.
who didn't have, number 21? Who didn't try to spat their shoes like Des? Who didn't
Right,
try to,
right,
who didn't try to do all these things like Desmond Howard, right? So
right.
I'm curious what you think about that, from a player perspective
Correct.
and the significance of it. And then what impact do you think it's going to have on teams? What impact do you think it's going to have on college athletics?
Well, I've been on the side of the players for quite some time, as far as thinking that they should benefit from their own name, image, and likeness. It only made perfect common sense to me. It was ridiculous that a player could never benefit from his likeness. I go as far back as Reggie Bush. Like when the whole thing went down at USC with Reggie Bush, I remember going on ESPN News and I said, I think USC owes Reggie Bush money. And then people thought I was crazy. They thought I was like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense. I'm like, no, it makes perfect sense. I said, just open the books. I said, no one wants to ever open the books because the books tell the story. I said, you open the books and you see that how many jerseys, number 5 jerseys, they sell before he wore the number 5 jersey.
Right.
Okay, now after he wore the number 5 jersey, how many of them jerseys they sell? You cannot tell me that this man did not bring value to that jersey. I mean, it's insane for you to say that, but he gets nothing from it. The school gets everything. I said, so to me, a player should have always been able to benefit from the value he brings to that university, to that jersey, to whatever has his likeness on it. Even though that may be a USC, whatever on the front, he doesn't have to say Bush on the back. Everyone knows who wears number 5. It ain't Pete Carroll, you know what I'm saying? So I was always I was adamant about that from day one. It made no sense. So I'm for it. It makes perfect sense. Now there are going to be some bumps in the road, of course there is. The newness of it is going to bring some scammers and things of that nature. But that doesn't mean that these guys don't deserve what they're getting. What they've earned. So I'm for it. I was always for it. It just became. It became popular to be, pro NIL recently,
Right.
especially after Ed O'Bannon blew everything up with the NCAA game, EA
Right.
Sports game,
Right.
and then it became more and more popular. So now it's common. Everybody, okay, yeah, this never should have been the situation. Never.
So do you think? So you've been in a pro locker room. This is always the example that I use when people say, "Well, it's going to create separation in the locker room." I say, "Well, what's the difference between?" I mean, they go. Pro locker rooms they thrive, and you got different guys making different amounts.
Right.
In the pros, why
Right.
you got different coaches on campus? I mean, Jim Harbaugh makes more than any other coach on campus.
Right.
Juwan Howard makes, but somehow, some way. There's cohesion on the athletic campus. Why is it different when it's applied to a college locker room? Sam, I don't think it is, but I wonder what you think.
Sam, I'm 51 years old. My tolerance for stuff like that is really, really low. So I don't even address dumb questions like that. It's like, I mean, do you say that when Nick Saban gets an extension? Well, how's this going to create separation in the coach's locker room? Nick is making all this money. These assistant coaches aren't making X, Y, and Z. I mean, who says this? Like, who brings these arguments to you? Like no one who ever has strapped on a helmet. I mean, if they do, then they don't get the big picture because they didn't ever present that problem or that situation when it involves a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, in the NFL, we understand certain people are going to make certain amounts of money. It's not an equal pay scale for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is. So why would that be an issue for these college student athletes who want to be in the NFL, who wants to be in the NBA? They understand it's going to be different scales when they get to that level. So you might as well start dealing with it now. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.